Hi, welcome to tonight's live, which is basically time management. How do I manage my time better? Because here's the bad thing about time. Obviously, we've all got the same amount of hours in the day. You can't get more hours. Yet it just seems like more and more keeps adding, and that to-do list grows and grows. And as a mum or as any cleaning business owner, you struggle to manage these things, to get to grips with actually, at the end of the day, just getting to a point where you feel like you're managing your time or managing your task, which will always keep adding, but to manage it better. So there's a few things that you can do to actually help you to manage your time properly. But firstly, just remember, you're not alone. Every single person in the world struggles with time management. However, the successful and the most successful people have obviously done certain things and have certain skills and certain habits that makes it possible for them to get the most important things done in life. You're never going to have enough time. You just have to get to a point where you realize, right, so I don't have enough time to do everything that everybody wants to do. And you know, that day that we want extra, sort of between Saturday and Sunday, we just want that extra day. You have to focus on the two most important things in your business. And it's getting clients and obviously looking after your current clients. That is what's gonna be, at the end of the day, your two most important jobs on your to-do list that you need to concentrate on. And to make this a little bit easier, because I understand when I first started my cleaning business, I myself was cleaning all day long, every day. Then you had to get home and you had to look after the kids. You had to clean your own home. You had to cook. And I think at the beginning of my business, I actually spent more time cleaning my own house because I was so fed up with going to people's houses, and then their houses is so awesomely clean. I felt guilty when I got home thinking, oh, look at my house. So I used to spend actually a lot of time cleaning my house, but I prioritized that because it irritated me. But I have learned over the time how to manage that and how to be more efficient with time. And like most successful cleaning business owners and successful business owners, it's something that is a habit that you need to learn. There's no quick fix. There's nothing that I can tell you tonight that's going to be, oh, do this and it'll be sorted, because everything still needs to be done. And like I say, it's never ending to get to the point where you think, okay, so I've done everything. I don't think that ever happens in normal life, or I'm bored. I think we only hear that from kids. If you've never heard of me before, I'm Ilse Whiteman, the cleaning coach, and I'm the creator of the Cleaning Coach Training Academy. So the first thing that you can do is, like I said, the two most important things is getting clients and obviously looking after your clients. And if you're cleaning yourself, then obviously you're looking after your clients. But you have to be sort of proactive in the getting more clients, because obviously if you don't get more clients, then your business is not going to grow. And before you know it, in 2 years' time, you're exactly where you were now, maybe with 5 extra customers. But it has to be on a scale where your customers come in sort of more on an automatic kind of basis. So you build your reputation, you build your foundations and your business to become kind of like a magnet. So you have to spend less time in trying to hunt for them or trying to get them. However, in the beginning, you have to obviously do certain things like going to take your postcards out, going to knock on doors. You don't have to do cold calling, and I think these days it's frowned upon, but you can actually put sales letters through doors to say, just to introduce yourself. But it's stuff that's productive that you now have to spend a little bit more time on until you, like I say, get to that stage where you've built your reputation and your customers are starting to refer you sort of automatically. And people are finding you because you're sort of more up on the Google search. So your website ranks higher. So you will then get obviously more customers coming in that way. However, the easiest way to do this, like I said, when I first started, I struggled. All these people and all these like higher people I was listening to said to prioritize these things. And at the time I was like, yeah, right, I wish if I only could, it's not that easy. Until I started taking it seriously and something clicked and I thought, right, so I'm going to give it a go. So I started spending literally 20 to 30 minutes every second day just on getting more clients and looking after my new clients. Nothing else. In that time where I've happened, I said to myself, right, so I'm going to get up half an hour earlier, before the kids get up, before anything else needs doing, and I'm going to go and set my office, and I'm going to make sure that I write emails, I go and post postcards, I'm going to go and do my business cards, whatever needs doing. I'm going to spend then the second part, I'm going to then update my website, get my Facebook page up there, do the scheduling, and do things that I knew that will get clients coming in. And I started seeing, sort of after the second week on pass, I started seeing a very big impact because it was happening and things started rolling. And I was like, oh, actually, this is really good, because obviously in between, like I say, you've got all your house stuff to do and everything else. You can't get more time. So it's prioritizing that slot and say to yourself, right, my phone's away. I've got no notifications. I don't look at emails. I do nothing else. And it's a do not disturb for that half an hour, and I can't concentrate solely on that. And I had to make it a habit, because at the beginning I struggled, because then I'll get a text message and I'm like, oh, who's that? So I had to say no phones, no nothing, no distractions. And I had to be very strict on myself to get to a point where this half an hour genuinely was a full half an hour on my business, and sometimes more. But in the beginning I was very strict with that half an hour, because by then the kids will have woken up and you have to go in, you've got to sort your kids out, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, you've got to go ready to go and clean yourself. Or sometimes if it really didn't happen in the morning, because sometimes your kids are ill, or you get that text message an employee is ill, then I did it in sort of late at night. But it had to be done on that day. And I just promised myself that that's what I was going to do, because I knew that's the only reason, or the only thing that's going to make my business actually grow. I then started obviously adding more time, and I was very selfish with that half an hour. And then I started doing it for an hour. Obviously, eventually, it got to an hour a day. Yes, I did get up very early, but I saw the impact it had for me actually just concentrating on that one thing, because there's so much you need to be in business. You're an administrator, you're a salesperson, you're obviously the business owner, you're the accountant, everything you have to be. And for that half an hour, it was nice because I focused on just that one thing. There was no getting overwhelmed, because I didn't look at 20 million things that I knew I had to do. I just concentrated on that one thing. And if you can only do that one thing and concentrate on that one thing, that will actually get you to the point where you will start building up a system, and you will see that habit bringing in results. And I always ask myself whenever I did something, so I'll go and sit in front of the telly, hard day at work, knackered cleaning, and then it's like, well, Coronation Street's on. And then I used to ask myself, do I really want to watch Coronation Street? Do I really need to know what happened? Do I really need to know if somebody just had a baby or somebody died? Because it's not reality. Will it make my boat go faster? Will it bring customers in? No. Will it get employees in? No. Will it increase my bank account? No. So it's literally everything I did, I started asking myself that. And yes, I worked a lot of hours, and all cleaning business owners do. And you do have to in the beginning. Obviously, when you get staff, you can start delegating a lot more and you will have more time. But even then, it's very important to get into a habit to give yourself that time slot to sort of say, that's it. I am just going to do that, just those two things. Because if I'm not looking after my current clients and I'm not building my customer journey, which means I'm looking after them and I'm taking through like the system to make them loyal, I'm going to eventually lose them. Because they'll, one little mistake and their head's going to turn and they're going to flip and go with another company. So I had to make sure they were loyal and trusted me. And of course, you have to always be very productive with getting in clients, like I say, because that's what's going to make the boat go faster. That's what's going to make your business sort of the make or break. So you have to decide, what do I want my business to look like in a year's time? Write it all down. Be completely honest with yourself. What do you want it to look like? Do you want 10 customers or 20 or 200? And then if you know, okay, in a year's time, I've now got, say, 100 customers. I want 200 customers in a year's time. What am I going to do to make that happen? Then you work out, you divide, the 100 you need by 12 months, you get your figure. And what am I going to do every week to be productive to get that customers in? And remember, all the other jobs can be done later, but you schedule yourself a certain amount of time for doing the most important things. Schedule yourself a time for education purposes. Right, so I need to learn this because I don't know how to do this. So I need to employ my first employee. So I'm going to spend half an hour for that week, say 2 or 3 times, just devoted to that one subject, which is getting an employee. And then you're going to start actually being a bit less overwhelmed, because you're going to start seeing that you're actually like doing things that you never thought was capable of. And you thought that you like these things are just going to start happening automatically. And remember, you are an awesome person. You are awesome and you can do it. It's just knowing how, trying different things, what works for you. Not, everything works for everybody. It's a case of figuring out, sort of getting your schedule. So the second thing is basically to fall in with that, is to make yourself a to-do list of everything you need to do on that day or on that week, say, for instance. And then you say to yourself, right, so obviously looking after kids, very important to get that time in with them, that personal time, so you don't feel guilty for working a lot and not spending that time with your kids. But then you can actually have an A and a B, probably and a C column as well. So you take your A, B and C column. Most important, that has to be done. Obviously, you have to feed your family and you have to wash the washing, otherwise they won't get clothes. But then have your A, your B and your C column, and things that you need to do, but is it going to increase your bank account? Is it going to grow your business? Is it going to give you the freedom of not having to clean anymore yourself all day? And always ask yourself, whatever you do, will it make the boat go faster? Will it increase my bank account? Everything you do. And that's when you start analyzing everything you do, literally. Like, hang on a minute. So instead of spending 2 hours on a weekday cooking, a roast or something, I'm just literally going to do quick meals during the week. And on Sunday, I'm going to give myself a good amount of time just for my family. And I'm not going to do any work and I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to spend quality time with my family, because you are who you are because of your family and because of the support of your family. And they're important, obviously, and they need you as well. So that's how I learned to also balance the feeling guilty. My child needing me, and I'll go, oh, hang on, I can't now. My customer needs me. And I also, would it make the boat go faster? That doesn't apply to kids. If your kids need you, your kids need you. However, stick to that promise. We're all good and well promising our customers, oh, we're going to clean brilliantly and we're just going to be awesome for you and everything else. But we tend to fail when it comes to our own promises, like that exercise program that you've been wanting to do for years. It's just because your commitment to yourself is not as good as it is to everybody else. Lucky customers. So it's just making that commitment, writing it down, writing your goal down and sticking with it, and let nothing interrupt that apart from your kids being ill. But then slot that time in another time. Don't waste that time. Don't just say, oh, well, I've missed it because I really couldn't do it, because that's just like an excuse. Sorry to be brutally honest. Do it that evening or do a double slot the next day. Make that promise to yourself to get that actually done. So, and then once again, with the whole thing of will it make the boat go faster, is start saying no a lot more. So your friend comes to you and say, oh, we've got a party Saturday night, blah, 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 blah. Oh, it'd be awesome. Yes, it would. Yes, you need some time out. We all do, and you do need a break for yourself, but schedule your time out. So for instance, if you're going to go out drinking on Saturday night, and all of you might now cringe at me, but then you know that you're not going to feel that great on Sunday. So still go out and have fun. Maybe just drink a little bit less so you are still productive on the Sunday. So on Sundays, you can clean your house, do the washing, do everything and get that done. So you don't have to worry about, during the week. So give yourself freedom during the week of, okay, so I'm going to promise myself that nobody's going to die if I don't mop my floor every day. Nobody's going to die if I don't hoover every day. And it's very hard in the beginning, especially if you're a cleaner, to actually look past dirt and to go, oh, that really annoys me. Just learn to move on and get yourself, okay, maybe only every 2 days I'm going to hoover, or, just to make life a bit easier. So once you've got your schedule, right, so Sundays or Saturdays, I'm cleaning the house. On this day, I'm doing that. From 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the morning, say, for instance, I'm doing paperwork, like getting back to customers. And obviously at the end of the month, you've got your 2 days scheduled out where you do all your wages and you do your invoices. So that 2 days is taking care of your customers. Well, you're doing invoices, you're telling them pay me. So that you've already got that scheduled out. It's just being a bit more productive in the sense of exactly what you're doing. So you don't start daydreaming and then you're in the middle of doing something and then something on Facebook comes up. You're like, oh, let me just quick have a look at that. And then you get distracted and you're not thinking about the thing you were doing before, or this notification popped up and then you're like, oh, it takes your brain away from what you're doing and you focus less on what you were doing. So make sure that if you do this half an hour slot, that you get to a point where you turn your phone off, turn your emails off, turn your notifications off. So you dedicate yourself to yourself. In realistic terms, dedicate that time to yourself, and you will start seeing you're getting things done that you never thought you had time for. Just to prioritize things a little bit more, do your A, B, and C columns. If it's really not that important and nobody's going to die, you know what? It can wait. It can wait, because if it's not urgent, then it's not going to matter if you never do it in any case. And then you can have like a Friday afternoon 1 hour slot where you do silly things like, make sure your ball's up to scratch, and if you need to phone anybody, but slot that hour in and you say to yourself, that's non-business hour computer time, but strict with your business time and your commitment to yourself. So remember, guys, to leave any comments if you were, because I will have some comments later. I'm answer some comments. And then also what you got to remember is, and it's very hard sometimes to get to a point where you do create these habits and these habits actually happen. But it's literally just like I said, it's like an exercise thing. Start looking after yourself a little bit more. In the case of, I never used to exercise much because I was cleaning all day when I first started, and I didn't feel I needed to. But then I was starting to suffer with a bad back, actually a sore wrist and everything else, the calluses that goes with cleaning all day. And then I just decided one day, I went to a chiropractor and he said to me, look, I'll be honest with you, you're unfit. And I was like, what do you mean I'm unfit? I clean all day, every day, literally 12, 13, 14 hours a day. And then he just recommended 3 times a week HIIT exercises. And I'll be honest with you, since I've been doing that, I've never ever had back pain. But it's just about looking after yourself and getting to that point where you're sort of saying, that's it. That's my promise to me. I'm going to get up half an hour early. I'm going to just go and do the exercise, for instance, because that's a promise to you. And I think that's why so many people that's a little bit overweight. Don't mean no offense to anybody, because I'm definitely not skinny, but it's just because that we tend to break that commitment to ourselves. And you see that bar of chocolate on the side, you're not allowed, but then you sort of say to yourself, one won't hurt. Why not? But you're breaking your promise, your commitment to yourself. And that's probably the worst commitment you can actually break, right? To get to that point where you just give yourself permission to have excuses and give yourself permission to give up. But also, all good and well and all that said, please just remember to have some time for yourself, which is just you, not family time, not business time, literally just you. Even if it's an hour a week or maybe half an hour a week, where you just do something for yourself that relaxes you, that gets you to the state where you refresh your mind. One thing that I've always done, and some people frown upon this, but is I use sort of like a hypnosis app, which is literally just, if I sort of start feeling negative, I use my app, and it's literally like a meditation. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of people laugh at meditation, but to give your brain a break and to give you a bit more clarity, whenever I feel overwhelmed, and believe me, it still happens most days, I do some meditation, 5 minutes, just to refresh my mind, to give my mind a break from everything. Because you can remember, if you don't do anything to relax and shut down sometimes, your brain is 130% going and going and going. And even when you sleep, I found that my most productive times was when I went to bed, because that's when my ideas started coming out, and I'll be laying there and going, oh, that's a good idea. So I used to have a book next to my bed, as sad as it might sound, and I used, oh, that's a good idea, let me write that down. But then my brain would think even more, and I struggled in sleeping. But I would love you to leave you now, because I know you'll probably have to go and watch Love Island or something. I might have to with my daughter, but I will definitely see you in the group, guys. See you later, and best of luck. See you later. Bye.